Hi folks, Toad here with Visordown.com, and we are about to answer everybody's questions about Yamaha's Niken, and more specifically this version, which is the NIKEN GT. Just before we go through it, if you like what we're saying or if you don't like what we're saying, please leave a comment down below, and don't forget to click the subscribe bell and notification bell and subscribe to the channel. So we picked up the Niken 2 weeks ago, and as soon as we got it, we put a picture on our Facebook page and said we've just picked up Yamaha's completely bonkers Niken GT. Hit us up with your questions. And we got a lot of interaction from people on Facebook. We got a lot of people emailing us directly. So we're just going to go through a lot of those questions. Now, first and foremost, I had an email, I can't remember who it was from, but it came through and it said, is it for disabled people? No, it's not. This is a motorcycle, and covering off another question that got sent was, what happens if you don't put the side stand down? This thing will fall over. It is just like a motorcycle. It is not like a trike. It's not like one of those three-wheeled MP3 scooters where you can lock it in the upright position. If we kick that side stand away, Yamaha's lovely matte finished Niken would be lying on its side, which would not be good. So it is not for disabled people, and if you were somebody who maybe had lost use of one leg or lost use of both legs, you would need to do all the same modifications to this that you would to a normal bike to be able to ride it. So the next question, and this is probably the most common question about the Yamaha Niken, and that is, can you ride it on a car license? No, it is a motorcycle, and it is something to do with the width of the front axle. So the front axle on this is, the front wheels, sorry, are close enough together that it is classed as a bike, not a trike. So this, you need a full A license unless you can get it restricted, which I don't think you can, because no, you can't, because the power output's too high. So you would need a full A license to be able to ride this motorcycle. So another question, and this is the question that a gentleman who just literally walked over, because this thing gets, everybody wants to know what it is and why it's the way that it is. Another thing that people want to know all the time is, what's the benefit of the extra front wheel? And it is simply grip and stability. And as soon as you get on it, you can feel that extra grip. You can really, I mean, mini roundabouts on this thing are an absolute hoot, because it's almost like you don't have to slow down. You can take them at about 30 miles an hour. It doesn't double the amount of grip that you've got because you've got two smaller wheels. So you've got about 25% or 35% more grip, I'd say, at the front end. So it is, yeah, it's just supremely stable. It's very good on motorways. It doesn't seem to get flustered at all. It just sort of sits there and it does its thing, and it just plods on perfectly happily. And then when you get to a twisty B road and you go around quite a tight right hander or a tight blind corner, and there's a pothole that you know you're going to hit and it's too late to adjust, this thing hits it and it just doesn't do anything. There's no shake through the bars, there's no nervousness, it doesn't go offline, it just carries on, it just tracks really smoothly, because when one wheel goes through that pothole, the other one's on the outside of it, so it doesn't bluster it at all. Another one that we had on our Facebook page was, somebody said, is it possible to lose the front end on it? Yes, it is. I've ridden it in the wet and I have had a couple of sort of front end slides, but it kind of gives you a really big warning when it's going to go, and when it does go, it's not snappy. It's not like the front goes and then all of a sudden you're sliding down the road on your face. It kind of gives you a big warning. You've got a little bit of time to do something about it, and you can sort of then just sort of pick the bike up if you want. It's a very secure feeling, especially in the wet. It's kind of feels like you're handling, like you're literally on railway tracks when you go around corners. Once you get your head round not trying to ride it like you think it should be ridden, and just ride it like a normal bike, it's absolutely spot on. A lot of people have been asking, will it wheelie? Yeah, it will, but you have got quite a lot of weight up the front, so it does take quite a big old effort to get the front wheel up. But I mean, if you look at the Yamaha Niken original launch, in fact if you Google search Yamaha Niken launch wheelie, there are pictures of journalists hoiking the front up while they're riding around in the Alps. Absolutely no problem whatsoever. It's a lot easier when you turn off the traction control though. So some of the people that contacted us wanted to know, because this is specifically the GT version that comes with the bigger screen, what the comfort, what the wind protection's like and the weather protection. I would say that for a GT, it would be nice if this was adjustable. I'm not talking electronically adjustable, because that's taking you into the kind of the big tour of the sort of £20,000 R1250 and R1290 Super Adventure territory. But just having a manually adjustable screen would be nice, and this one is totally static. If I'm honest, I'm quite a short ass. I'm like 5'7", and if my head is sat partly out of the bubble, if you're any taller than me, it's going to be sort of as if the screen isn't there. It's also got these strange sort of cutaways on either side of the screen. I don't know what the purpose of these is, but what it does mean is that you get quite a lot of buffering, buffeting from the wind, at motorway speeds around your shoulders, which can come a little bit tiresome, if I'm honest. So yeah, there might be a double bubble or a larger screen that you can get through the Yamaha accessory catalogue. But yeah, for it to be a GT, I think for it to come standard with a screen that will encapsulate the average size motorcycle rider, whatever one of those is, would be a pretty good thing. Quite a lot of people were interested in the comfort of it, because over and above the normal Niken, this one has got a different seat, and both me and Harry, who's on the camera over there, have both given it a big thumbs up on that. It's one of the plushest seats I've ever placed my arse on, and it is not just plush, it's supportive as well. So you're not wallowing around it, you don't slide around on it. It's really properly good. And because 99% of manufacturers seem to just be in the habit of making shit seats for bikes, this is really, I like. It's good.
The DFS of motorcycle seating.
It's lovely. So another question that was asked of it was, can it filter? And the answer is yes. It's no wider than my long-term BMW R1250 RT, and you've got these little whiskers on either side as well that sort of give you an indication of how wide it is. If you can filter on a normal sort of adventure bike, you can filter on this. And there's one really nice thing about filtering on this that you don't get with normal bikes, is that on a normal bike, when you're filtering down the traffic on a motorway, your front wheel's constantly running over the capsize in the middle of the road, and when it's wet it kind of slips and slides about. On this you've got one wheel on one side of the capsize, one wheel on another, and it's only the back wheel that hits them, so the bars just remain completely still and static, which is really nice. Filtering around town as well, you can do it, and I've even experimented with, you know, those pedestrian traffic islands where people can cross the road. If you let the outside wheel roll up onto the traffic island, nothing happens. It just literally just goes over it, the bars don't shake, and it's just like it wasn't there. So filtering on this, yes, absolutely.
What is that?
Why not?
Crashing into a traffic island?
No, just riding over the traffic island, over the curb. Not
Traffic.
not crashing into a keep left bollard. But yeah, no, filter on it absolutely can be done in perfect safety. If you can filter on a sort of a big size adventure bike, you can definitely filter on this thing. And now one final question, which I'd taken this bike to meet my missus at the pub and have some dinner one night and a non-alcoholic beverage, and a bloke came up to me in the car park and he said, "What's that kit that you fitted to your phaser called?" And he thought that it was, and this is no joke, I shit you not, he thought that this was some funky front end that I'd ordered off the internet and then locked it onto my phaser. And when I told him that this was a factory built motorcycle from Yamaha, he pissed himself laughing and walked off because he thought I was actually joking. So no, this is not a kit that you can bolt on at home. This is a motorcycle that you can walk into a dealership and buy tomorrow. So there we have it. We've covered all the questions that we got asked on our Facebook post and the ones that were emailed in. This is the Yamaha Niken. Is it trying to answer a question that hasn't been asked? I don't know. I do like it. I do enjoy riding it. It's just on days like today, I've never once been riding a bike with one front wheel, like Yamaha's R1 over there, and thought, oh, do you know what? I could do with a bit of extra front end grip now on this really hot and sunny day. In winter, fair enough, but in winter you just slow down a little bit. I think if you're interested and you're curious, just get yourself to a Yamaha dealer, book a test drive. See what you think and make up your own mind, because that's the only way you're going to be able to answer all the questions that you've got in your head about this bike. Anyway, I've been Toad Hancocks, this is Visordown.com. Thank you, Yamaha. See you all again soon.